everyone, my name is Anangsha Alammyan and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 tips how you can effectively listen to an audiobook. I always believed I would never have the attention span long enough to sit through an audiobook. I thought I would get distracted and lose track of what the story was, but audiobooks weren't my thing. This changed in 2019 when I decided to gift myself a subscription of Storytel for my birthday. This was more a knee-jerk reaction because I was on a self-imposed clothes buying ban and I already had a lot of unread paperbacks on my bookshelf. I didn't know what else I could get for myself that would add value to my life, and hence I got the subscription of Storytel. Fast forward to now and I'm a huge fan of listening to audiobooks. I have one audiobook constantly running in my phone's background, ready to be played at the slightest chance I get. I have listened to more than 50 audiobooks in the past year and some of them have been genuinely life-changing. If you are someone who believes that audiobooks aren't their thing, this video might change your mind. But before we begin, here is a quick summary of all the benefits audiobook added to my life as a reader. The first is that the voice modulation and inflection of the narrator makes the author's words come to life. It feels like you're watching a movie being played out in your head. You can differentiate the minor characters because each one of them have a different tone of voice. You learn how to pronounce the names of people and places, and this can be a huge benefit if you are a non-native English speaker like me. Because audiobooks can be paused at any time, there is a feeling of liberty at not having to wait for the chapter to end before you can pause your reading. There are more benefits, you'll find them strewn all over this video. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Here are 7 ways you can listen to an audiobook effectively. Number 1, get a subscription. One of the primary reasons I hadn't been able to stick to an audiobook for long was because I had listened to the free audiobooks that are available on YouTube. Most of them have only one narrator throughout, and at some points it feels apparent that they are merely reading out from a script without putting in much effort into the narration. This changed when I got my Storytel subscription. Here, the audiobooks were of such high quality that they made my head reel. Suddenly, my silences were filled with the most beautiful stories. I just couldn't get enough of them. If you feel I'm exaggerating, here's a possible explanation. The first book I listened was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It has 15 narrators, one for each of the characters. All of them have put in brilliant performances, making the book one hell of a reading experience. Of course, the plot is outstanding too, but the audio performances make the story more enthralling and gripping. Here is my suggestion. If you are looking to start out with audiobooks, don't try those free versions on YouTube or LibriVox. I don't mean to say that all the books on those platforms are inadequate, but in my limited experience, the ones that I have listened to on paid platforms tend to be of a better quality. You can get a subscription of Audible, Storytel or Scriptd, and all of these platforms have a free 30-day or in some cases 60 days trial also. You can check out these trials for yourself, and if you feel that you can enjoy them, then you can continue with the subscription for a minimal fee every month. Number 2, pick a well-reviewed book. When you are starting out, it's natural to get disheartened if you cannot digest the first few chapters of a new book. So, before you pick a book, here are some suggestions. Choose a book that lies in your preferred genre of reading. If you are a fan of thrillers, don't start with a romantic comedy. Stick to your comfort zone. Start with a book that you have always wanted to read. That way, your brain already has an idea of how badly you wanted to read this, so it would be easier to stay attentive throughout. Before you start with the book, try a sample and see if the narrator's style and accent match your taste. Sometimes, different subscription services have the same book with different narrators. Trying out a more extensive sample space never hurts. Also, don't forget to skim through the reviews of a book before you start listening to it. Just because it's a good book doesn't necessarily mean it performs well as an audiobook. Number 3, fiction or non-fiction. I have observed that I can't listen to non-fiction audiobooks. This is because whenever I come across something particularly important, I like to highlight and make notes. Though all audiobook apps have the option of bookmarking a segment, it isn't the same as highlighting and annotating in a physical book. There is very less chance that you will come back and listen to your bookmark on the app compared to coming back to a physical book or an e-reader and going through your highlights. That is why I have stuck only to fiction audiobooks of late. This was a conscious decision because I realized I wasn't getting much out of non-fiction or self-help audiobooks when I was listening to them. The best part about listening to fiction is that a good narrator uses a slightly different voice for each character. They change their pacing and volume according to the mood of the story. This draws you to the plot and makes you sit up, especially during moments of high tension. If you are someone who isn't a big fan of fiction, I have made a video about the benefits you can get of reading fiction. I'm going to link it right here so you don't miss that out. One small hack that greatly improved my audiobook experience is that whenever I come across a beautiful sentence or an insightful passage in an audiobook, I Google a few keywords along with the name of the book. This leads me straight to the Goodreads page for the book's quotes. Now, Goodreads has an option to like a quote. Once you do that, it will be stored in your profile and you can come back and read it whenever you wish. Sure, this does not compare to underlining and highlighting in a physical book, but in a way, isn't it wonderful that all the passages you found useful would be stored in a place where you can come back anytime and revisit? 4. Listen while doing a chore you don't enjoy. I hate cooking and keeping the house clean. Even though I know these chores are essential because I live alone but I still get miserable while doing them. You must have heard about the theory that says that if you cook while you aren't in a good mood, the negative energy transfers to your food. Admittedly, this is bound to be bad for your physical and mental health. So, to prevent this from happening, I made it a point to listen to audiobooks while doing these chores and magically found myself in a better mood. Of course, I still hated cooking and cleaning, but at least there was a story going on in my head and I didn't have to be completely miserable all my time. So, here's my suggestion. Pick a chore you hate doing and listen to audiobooks while you're doing that. This way, your mood won't be affected thinking how much you hate what you're doing. And you will still be able to concentrate better on the audiobook because your brain wants an escape. And you will find a magnificent way of multitasking without actually investing too much time or effort. Here are some examples of chores during which you can spend time listening to audiobooks. And those are hanging out clothes to dry, chopping vegetables, making the bed each morning, showering, as long as you keep the phone a safe distance away from the water's reach. 5. Listen in short bursts. Don't spend hours on end listening to an audiobook. Instead, listen to them in short bursts. This way, you won't have the luxury to say you're bored. It is easy to concentrate on the narration for shorter periods without letting your attention drift. As I mentioned earlier, audiobooks give you the liberty to pause anywhere you wish without waiting for a scene or a chapter to end. Well, technically, even a physical book or an e-book has that liberty, but if you are like me, you will probably feel obligated to finish a chapter before keeping the book down for the night. When you listen in short bursts throughout the day, your mind keeps revolving around the story. It might sound counterintuitive, but this helps you get more involved with the story. Number 6, listen before going to bed. Listening to an audiobook before going to sleep is one of the most precious experiences I have ever treated myself to. That is the time of the day when you're exhausted, in need of a friend who can comfort you. Your books can come to your rescue then. To read a physical book or an e-book, you will need to keep the lights turned on. But with an audiobook, that extra effort of having to turn off the lights before retiring is eliminated. Lie in bed, take a few deep, calming breaths and close your eyes. Let the audiobook play. All apps have a sleep timer. Initially, you can set it to 15 minutes and adjust it later according to your routine. When you're relaxed and comfortable, it's easy to let the narrator's voice wash over your body in calming waves, helping you visualize the story. It is a snug sensation, almost like listening to a lullaby. Even on nights I had trouble sleeping, audiobooks have kept me company and lulled me to a deep, dreamless sleep. And the last tip, and the most effective one, listen alongside a physical book. Reading and listening to a book at the same time is something I believe every book lover should experience at least once in their life. You see, I could write paragraphs about it. I could make hours and hours of videos about how amazing this feeling is. But my words would fail to convey how powerful and how moving it can be to hold the book in your hands and hear the words being read out in your head by an excellent narrator. When you read and listen at the same time, you will remember the book for a longer time too. It will also help you be more mindful about which parts in the book are more relevant and which parts can be skimmed through. The voice of different characters, the intensity in an intriguing scene, the heart-stopping climax, everything will be magnified tenfold when you listen to the audiobook alongside your reading. And of course, the fact that you can highlight whichever parts you like the most in the physical book helps. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed my 7 tips about how you can become a better listener of audiobooks. So I hope you are motivated even a little bit to give audiobooks a try. I know it can be daunting because I have been in the same boat before. I always used to believe that I would never enjoy audiobooks, but I have been proved wrong. I hope you will be able to incorporate audiobooks in your life, and I hope they help you become a better reader. Thank you so much for watching this video. I have made several videos regarding how you can read more books and how you can get the most out of each book. I'm going to link everything right here and you can just click on them to watch. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and also press the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. So yeah, that's all for today guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.